Okay, so picture this. A whistleblower comes forward with secrets. We're talking covert missions to actual alien artifacts. But here's the twist. This person isn't some retired official looking back on their career. Nope, he's a currently serving soldier on active duty right now. In this explainer, we're going to unpack the absolutely incredible claims from this source, an insider known only as JP. And this is where it gets really interesting. According to Dr. Michael Salla, a researcher who's been in touch with JP for more than a decade, this whole situation is, well, it's completely unprecedented. The implication here isn't that this is some rogue leak. The source material suggests this is actually a sanctioned release of information, a controlled disclosure. So that leads us to the million-dollar question, right? What in the world has he actually revealed? Well, buckle up because we're about to walk through the absolute core of his claims. We're talking everything from ancient ships waking up under the ocean to entire civilizations living deep, deep within the Earth. All right, first things first, let's just be clear on who we're talking about. The source, JP, is an active-duty U.S. Army soldier. And his story, his testimony, it's all presented as part of this controlled disclosure plan. The idea is that he's been given permission to share certain details of his missions, but, not everything. Okay, now let's dive into the first major claim. And I gotta tell you, this one is a real mind-bender. It all centers on the discovery and, get this, the activation of something the sources call space arcs. So, a space arc? What is that exactly? Well, according to the source material, we're not talking about your typical little flying saucer here. No way. These are described as absolutely colossal ships, miles long, that have been dormant for thousands of years. They're basically technological and biological time capsules. And here's the thing. These arcs are reportedly starting to power up, to activate, in hotspots all over the world, and even on the moon. And as you can imagine, this has supposedly kicked off a kind of silent geopolitical race. You've got the US, China, Russia, all scrambling to get their hands on the incredible technology these things hold. To give you a sense of what this is actually like, the sources lay out a typical mission. It sounds like something straight out of a movie. It starts with a trip on an Osprey to some kind of secret floating platform way out in the Atlantic. From there, you go down, way down, in a specialized, pressurized elevator, deep under the ocean, right into the arc itself. And once they get inside, things get really, really weird. JP describes the environment as just bizarre. He says the physics are all wrong. He talks about this crazy time dilation effect where if you wave your hand, it looks like it's moving in slow motion, and you see multiple images of it at once. I mean, it's literally like something out of science fiction. So, okay. We've got these incredible ancient ships, but the story goes even deeper when you start to ask who or what is inside them. And this next part of the narrative, well, it involves sleeping giants, mysterious powerful seeds, and ancient kings. The key piece of tech that makes all this possible is something called a stasis chamber. Just think of it like suspended animation from the movies, right? It's a technology that lets beings sleep for thousands, maybe millions of years, perfectly preserved, just waiting for the right moment to wake up. So who's taking a nap in these chambers? Well, according to the claims, it's giants. Yeah, giants. The sources actually identify them as the Anunnaki, that group of godlike beings from ancient Sumerian myths, and the story goes that they're now being found in stasis chambers all over the planet. And this is where the story takes another really strange turn. Apparently, next to one of these giants found in Florida, they discovered seeds from a tree of life. But get this. These seeds were supposedly stolen and secretly shipped to England on orders from King Charles himself. Then, U.S. military operatives had to go in and recover them. And what did they do with them? They allegedly took them to Iraq to help wake up another sleeping giant. Okay, so it's not just about finding individual giants sleeping in pods. JP's missions supposedly took him to another level entirely, to whole civilizations living deep inside the Earth, totally hidden from all of us up here on the surface. He talks about meeting two main groups down there. First, a race he calls the ant people, an ancient, telepathic species that lives in perfect harmony. And second, believe it or not, communities of regular humans. Apparently, they're the descendants of people from the surface who got lost down there centuries ago and were taken in by these peaceful ant people. And the way these ant people experience the world is described as just fundamentally different from us. Get this, They reportedly don't even know what fear is. They live in total harmony, and when humans show up, they can sense our fear. They feel it as this weird, totally alien vibration.
And we're not just talking about observation missions here, like a nature documentary. No, these are described as actual diplomatic encounters. JP claims he met with the king of the ant people. And the craziest part? The king already knew all about the missions to the space arcs. That suggests there's a deep, hidden connection between what's happening on the surface and what's going on deep underground.
That little detail, the fact that they already knew, that really hints at a much bigger picture, doesn't it? So we've got these awakening arcs, we've got sleeping giants, we've got entire hidden civilizations. The source material starts to tie all these incredible threads together. It presents them as pieces of one single, massive, unfolding cosmic event. So you gotta ask, what's the trigger? Why is all this supposedly happening now? Well, the sources claim it's because of the return of a powerful ancient being known as Enki, the Sumerian god of creation. His presence back in our solar system is supposedly acting like a cosmic alarm clock, waking up all this ancient technology. And where is all this leading? What's the endgame? According to these accounts, it's building towards a full-scale, planet-wide disclosure event. The arcs will literally start to rise into the sky, the giants will fully awaken and emerge, and humanity, well, we will supposedly be gifted with advanced technology and the truth about our lost history. It's something that would change our world forever. And this isn't just some vague prophecy. The plan is said to be very specific and already underway. According to the source, there was originally a group of 12 of these Anunnaki scientists who went into stasis. 4 of them are already in the process of being activated. That leaves 7, this number right here, still in their untouched chambers, just waiting to be awakened as the next part of this grand cosmic plan. So, in the end, this entire absolutely mind-blowing narrative is presented as a carefully planned, carefully managed disclosure. But as these stories of space arcs and sleeping giants and hidden worlds start to surface, it really leaves us with one last massive question to think about. If this really is a controlled process, who or what is truly in control?